Yeah, well, anytime a player shows up in the middle of the season or as you get going, there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be adjustments. Timing and rhythm in the passing game is a big deal. So it was really nice to see. Obviously, that's what we need moving forward. And, with some of the things that happened with our roster, it's created a lot more opportunities for him.
Is there anything in particular that he did well in this game? Everybody talks about like the in-breaking routes and things like that, but was there something that kind of helped him separate a little more?
Well, I think the thing that shows up with him is, you talk about his size and his catch radius, his ability to go outside his frame and make some catches. And he did a really nice job of that.
Tyler, in terms of a rookie quarterback and the decisions to on shot plays when it's there, when it's not, checking it down, how do you feel like he's handled that part?
I think Tyler's growing every week. You see good things, and you see things that we still have to continue to improve on. And he did some really, really good things in this game. And then there was also some things that we know, are going to be a point of focus moving forward to continue to improve on.
Would you make of Devaughn?
Excuse me?
Devaughn? Which would you make of him?
Love the way he came in the game and ran the football with physical presence and ran downhill.
Anything in particular that kind of drew y'all to him? I mean, you got an opportunity to see him in a tryout and everything, and then having him here, and then he kind of leapt into sort of his playing opportunities. Just kind of what drew that path for him?
Well, I think when you look at our roster availability, obviously, we went to having really one healthy running back at one point in time. So, and he's done a really nice job. And I think that's what happens. Like I said, when you get a player, there's an adjustment curve, there's a learning, there's a part of getting to know the system, understand. And then it's for us seeing that player in action in practice, say, hey, are they handling the things that we're asking them to do? And he was impressive in practice and created an opportunity for himself and went out and did a nice job with it.
Is there I think it's 7 out of last game, the team hasn't hit 90 yards rushing. Is there anything that is just kind of consistently sticking out as why y'all aren't getting where y'all want to be?
Yeah, I wish we could say it's one thing.
Right.
I think it's a combination of many things. And obviously, the stat you bring up is a stat that we're well aware of, and we know that it's a point of emphasis for us. And, anytime in this league, if you become one-dimensional, it's very difficult to win. So establishing the running game is a big deal for us. Obviously, we've had some issues, some challenges up front at times. Maybe we haven't hit the right hole with the back at times. The scheme hasn't been exactly what we wanted from a coaching standpoint. So we've all taken our turns. It's something that we've got to get better at. Simple as that.
When you say the scheme isn't where you want it from a coaching standpoint, what does that look like in terms of the details of that? What you can.
I don't want to get too much into scheme because, but obviously the NFL is a matchup league, and you're trying to exploit matchups. And in the run game, especially, people play different styles. As a 4-down front, as an Okie front, whatever. Well, you're anticipating to get this front, and they play a little different front. Well, is that matchup the ideal matchup that we want? And that's our job as coaches, and we can always do better. So you can't point at just one thing. Like I said, if there's one thing, we'd say, hey, this is what it is. It's not.
What do you make of Tyler's ability making plays out of structure and the balance of also wanting to create in structure and kind of rhythm and timing?
Yeah, there's a fine line when you play the position, really fine line. And, obviously in order to be successful playing the position in this league, you have to extend plays. And it puts an extreme amount of pressure on the defense. Different players create pressure in different ways. Some players leave the pocket early and they create scramble ops and they're out in space and they're basically a running element threat while they're passing. Other guys, the more pocket style passers, usually the guys that are really good, buy time within the pocket. It's subtle movement that you sometimes don't necessarily see, but if you're in the game, you're like, wow, he just bought him half-man movement, bought himself a whole, half of a second more, which is a big deal. So it's a big part of it. Tyler's still learning those type of things, and it takes reps in a live NFL pocket to develop that. The pocket structure in college is a lot different than our pocket structure.
I apologize if this has been asked in the last couple of weeks, but it seems like a lot of times when he's moving in the pocket, he's moving up as opposed to kind of bailing right or left. I feel like maybe a lot of young quarterbacks more kind of have to bail up. Where does that come from? Is that something you all kind of drilled in from, or Did you see that coming?
I think, one of the things too, you look at Tyler's size, he's a longer quarterback, he's a big guy. So when you look at the depth of the drops, obviously wherever you set the depth of your pocket is different depths are going to put different angles on the tackles as far as where pass rush is going to be created. So one of the things is if we create a lot of depth in the pocket, we have to climb the pocket because those bookends are rushing up the field. You got to create space to get up in the pocket to throw.